Hey, good morning. So, as many of you know, I have been exploring this idea of badass love. And it's the kind of love that values truth over hurt feelings. It values accountability over excuses. It values health over disease. And it values abundance over scarcity. And for the next several days, for actually a couple of weeks, I want to talk to you guys about owning your happiness like a badass. And I just have to say that taking accountability for your personal state of well-being is the key to creating and owning your own happiness. And the first thing that I want to talk about is understanding that not everything that happens to you is about you. And when you can take ownership of this mindset, you have a much higher chance of experiencing happiness. So I was reading in Psychology Today, and I'm going to read a little bit to you about kind of their perspective of what this means. They said, we all are the stars of our own movie, and everything in the world is but a backdrop. And it is natural for us to view the human experience through the lens of how everything affects us personally, right? Because we are the star of our own movie. It says, this slanted sense of reality has a name. It's called the egocentric basis. And it is essential to recognize that this is nothing more than an adaptive illusion, right? It's an illusion because it's our own lens. It's our own context. It's our own beliefs. It's our own morals and values that play into how we experience what goes on in the world around us. And it says, we may be sucked into our own emotional state from whatever it was that we perceive that happened to us. Take, for example, the other day, my husband was in a mood, right? And I felt like he was ignoring me. And I thought, well, he's ignoring me. I must be doing something wrong, right? And then I went down into this whole rabbit hole of what's wrong with me, what's going on, what have I done, blah, 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 right? So I wasted a ton of mental and emotional energy just trying to recover from whatever insult I had caused him to deserve being ignored, right? But the truth was, what was really going on with him had absolutely nothing to do with me. So I wasted a ton of time and energy getting sucked into this rabbit hole of stories that I was telling myself about what it meant, right? And it says, at the very least, this egocentric basis causes us to misread others, and it undermines empathy and tolerance. So it gives the example of, it says, there will definitely come a morning when your boss will barely acknowledge you, or you won't get the job that you thought you had in the bag, or you will, it says, you will take it personally, you will feel baffled, offended, and maybe even irate. You will get sucked into your own emotional state to nurse perceived wounds and perhaps even act on them. So when we choose to see the world through our own lens and we refuse to understand that what happens to us is not necessarily about us, we are giving life, we are giving the situations around us the power over how we feel. Take the current situation, right? So we are in social distancing. Some of us are practicing shelter in place. And we've got a few ways that we can look at it. One way makes us really unhappy, and the other way increases our levels of happiness. So for some of us, we may see it as a punishment, right? We are being punished. We are being forced to stay home. We are not allowed to see our friends. This coronavirus and the government are ruining all of our fun. Those are some stories that we could choose to tell ourselves about what's happening right now. And I want to challenge you to flip that script. Because yes, from your perspective, sure, you're being cut off from the things that you love. And there are things that add a lot of value to your life that you are not able to do right now. And that can feel like a punishment. But think about it from the other perspective. Think about it from the people that you are protecting. For me personally, I choose to see social distancing and sheltering in place as an honor. It is an act of gratitude and it is an act of service to my community and in gratitude for the people that are serving in the front lines. Think about all of those nurses and those doctors and those techs and those respiratory therapists and those registration people that are in contact with people who have coronavirus, who are exhausted, who are working extra shifts, who are scared, who are working without proper protective equipment. You guys, those are the people that I stay home for. I stay home as an act of gratitude to serve those front lines, right? And so I choose to believe that not everything that happens to me is about me. Yes, coronavirus is happening to me. Coronavirus is happening to my community, right? Shelter in place and social distancing is happening to me, but not a single bit of it is about me. And if I choose to make it about me and get all up in my head about how I'm being punished, I'm going to make myself miserable. And so what I'm giving you permission to do is I am giving you permission to understand that not everything that happens to you is about you. And I'm giving you permission to challenge the story that you are telling yourself about what's currently going on. And when you can embrace that mindset, you are going to automatically serve your own happiness. So this is badassery in happiness through valuing accountability of the stories that you are telling yourself. Much love.